Yeah, look, it's amazing. So to think from the land of India and the ancient Orient, we have this exotic spice, turmeric. It's just fantastic. And it prevents Alzheimer's. Sue, rad, tell us about it.
Hi, James. How are you?
You got yellow on you now.
Turmeric is totally anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and this is one of the most important mechanisms to prevent in the brain if you want to slow down cognitive impairment. They're also studying it for a range of other diseases. So, for example, cancer, they've now discovered there are more than 100 ways that turmeric blocks cancer.
Yes, and it works across the whole...
Well, one of the studies, in fact, that Dan Buettner quotes in his Blue Zones book is a study that's shown that turmeric is 1/5 as potent as cisplatin, which is a potent chemotherapy drug. But
and
besides
he's the longevity
cancer,
specialist.
well, he's really into researching longevity populations around the world. But even diabetes. So there was an interesting study in Thailand, and it showed that people who were given curcumin supplements, and that's one of the key phytonutrients in turmeric, for 9 months, everyone who took the curcumin supplements prevented the onset of diabetes, whereas if you weren't taking the curcumin, you had a high chance of getting diabetes.
So it prevents the onset, helps progression.
Yes, and even if you
whole...
are an older person who has diabetes, they've now shown in Taiwan that if you use turmeric regularly, it helps with your brain function. So a particular type of memory called working memory, which is where you reason. So turmeric is really important from a cancer point of view, a diabetes point of view, and especially the more common, the more obvious inflammatory diseases like arthritis and inflammatory bowel disease. It's really, really medicinal.
What excited me was I want to keep my brain and my memory Alzheimer's. To think it helps. How much do you need and what kinds of turmeric do we have?
Well, traditionally and on average in India they would use up to about 3 grams a day, so that's roughly half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon? So I'll just hold this here so we can see.
But the most important message today that I'd like to give is just get it into your diet, and we're going to look at a few different ways. So this is the dried ground turmeric, but of course before we get that, this is what the raw turmeric looks like. It's a cousin of the ginger family. You can see how intensely orange it is in colour, and if you cut that, that orange colour will remain on your knife. So you have to wash it off very quickly. So it is potent in terms of its medicinal effects.
So they dry it and grind it, and it's powder. Does it lose potency?
And no, it doesn't. It's quite stable. But there are 2 types of ground turmeric that I think that are of interest to note. The more common one, the bright yellow one, is called Madras. But if you're looking for the high end, the more medicinal one, you need to source one called Alapi. Alapi turmeric. It's got double the concentration of these curcumins in it, and that's a more brown coloured one. It's got a more intense flavour. So let's have a quick look at how you could use it.
Yes, okay.
So there's your cup of tea, James. Put a pinch of ground turmeric, just a pinch, end of a knife, and stir that, and have a little sip of that.
I'll put 2 pinches.
On the island of Okinawa in Japan, the centenarian women sip on tea all day long, and they add a pinch of turmeric to their tea.
That's so good.
But of course in India, do you like that? It is fine.
That's nice,
A teaspoon might be too much in that context, but it's amazing how much you can get into milk, and the flavour is undetectable. So this is something I made for you last night. This is warm. This is called golden milk in India, and they use it for when people have colds and chest infections, that kind of thing, and that has about half a teaspoon of turmeric.
That's the whole day's dose, from my memory.
In one glass. It's got some other spices as well, cardamom.
As usual, anything on SueRad.com just tastes fantastic.
And of course, let's not forget, if you're making rice, just add half a teaspoon per cup of rice in your rice cooker, and that's another way of getting turmeric in. And something else I've got for you to taste. A delicious dal where you can add curry powder or turmeric. And incidentally, curry powder...
turmeric in it already?
This has turmeric and curry powder, but many people think of curry powder as having a lot of turmeric. It's actually a poor source of these curcumins. You need to get the real stuff, the turmeric. But have a try of that. It's an easy thing to make.
So the yellow comes from the turmeric?
You're having extra turmeric with your turmeric there. The key thing is just to get it in through your drinks,
very good.
Whether it's smoothies with the fresh turmeric, in your rice, in vegetable dishes, in stews and curries. Just eat it every day. It's potent stuff.
Well, I'm not going to join those little old ladies. I'm going to be a bloke. Cheers, guys. A turmeric drink. It's milk. It's beautiful.
And it's
what
delicious.
Else? You put in cardamom?
Cardamom, other spices.